Hello and welcome back to Ocarina of Time. Today I'm covering Shadow Temple. Probably my least favorite dungeon in this game. I mean, it's kind of interesting if you're a first time player, but if you're returning, then I guess it's not. As soon as you get in here, you're going to need to use the long shot to cross that gap, and then the lens of truth to see through that wall. Come over here, it'll be a sign saying that those who have sacred feet can cross the Valley of the Dead, which is just another way of saying you need to fly to cross the bottomless pit here. Well, we don't know anything about sacred feet, so we should just give up, right? No, wrong. Let's use the Eye of Truth that we got in the bottom of the well. Ta-da! Look at that, and go through this wall. And if you hadn't done the bottom of the well, then watch the previous video to find out how to do it. Alright, you come in through here, and then there are going to be all these walls that interrupt you, and saying those who have the Eyes of Truth will be able, to navigate and find some hidden stuff. Yeah. And then they're going to pause you and just talk about Hyrule's bloody history of greed and hatred. So, ooh, should make you very scared and spooked of this place, for sure, but, well, actually it is pretty spooky. In this room there's a single reed-head. You can jump attack it with a Biggoron sword to kill it. There are also two keys on the side. I always forget about them though, so I had to hear them to remember. Since there was just one reed-head here, I guess it isn't necessary to play the Sun Song, but if it would make you feel better, then you can play the Sun Song to paralyze the reed-head. Alright, and I failed to pick up the magic jar because I waited too long. Oops. Well, it's okay, because the keys dropped arrows and I could use those. After killing all the enemies, the treasure chest in the room will appear. You can open it, and then you'll get the map, which is pretty nice. Alright, with map in hand, now we get a mini-map on the bottom corner, which is always great. I've never tried and completed any dungeon in this game without getting the dungeon map. Maybe I will one day. That'll be an interesting playthrough. Keep going forward. Right here, there's another fake wall that is also going to interrupt you. Suppose it's not really necessary for all these interruptions. You can use the map in the bottom right corner to sort of help you. I don't think it's all that helpful for this room. This room's kind of confusing. But you just follow what I'm doing and then you'll get there. And looky, remember this? Yeah, it looks like another dead hand. Except now that I have the Lens of Truth, you can do something interesting. So if you find a black circle on the floor, like a black shadow, that will show where he's located. So now you know where he'll be as soon as he pops out. So you can either A, get caught, or B, just bomb him. And that was an accident to pull out that one. So let's do that. Yeah, we can call him out of his home, which is just the ground and the skulls. Now in the 3DS version, they try to make it a little more kid-friendly, although I don't think you could ever make this kid-friendly. Come on now. Where instead of making the room just made out of skulls, they made it out of like skulls and dirt, so that it looks, I guess, somewhat realistic, but I mean, come on, this is a game. Now, there are a couple of tricks. Oh, I got caught even by nothing. There are a couple of tricks too to making him come out. You can blow him up, but you also can cut down all of his hands, and I failed to do it in time, but if you cut down all of his hands, well, before they grow back, then Dead Hand will emerge from the ground, and then, yeah, you kill him. There you go, you just kill him. Now, I could have done jump attacks on his head probably, but with the Biggoron sword, the best sword in the game, I suppose it's not really necessary. Alright, over here, there's a treasure chest, and it's a big chest, so it's going to be something good. Ta-da! It's the Hoover Boots, or as that one sign referred to it as, the Sacred Feet. So now we have an idea of what those sacred feet are. Now with these, you can walk across places where there's no solid ground, but they said the downside was there's no traction. So if you were just to wear them, as I shall demonstrate, if you're just to wear them here, it's like I'm walking on ice, sliding around. Now a lot of people like to call these Link slippers, and frankly I do too, because they do kind of look like slippers. But not sure if it's something I'd want to wear to bed though. Yeah. So we don't need them right now, I just recommend taking off and wearing the Kokiri boots. Alright, come back out. Oh yeah, all the walls are going to interrupt you again, which is great. Actually no, just that one did. I guess I didn't talk to it yet for some reason. Interesting. Now I come back through here and you'll see, well, back in this room, and you'll see that there's this whole assembly here, this apparatus, I guess, where there's this pushable wall, and I guess they use the Garuda symbol to indicate that. And then it says, look for the skull of truth. And you'll see right here that one of these skulls, it's going to be completely randomized every game, but one of the skulls is going to be real. And so memorize well where that real skull is, and then push this flap to it. It's not a block, but I mean it's got the Garuda symbol, the crescent moon for me because I'm playing an older version of this game, but for any Virtual Console or GameCube or 3DS players, it's going to be like a cobra head. So once you push it to the correct symbol, then, well, actually it didn't work the first try, and I was confused and I was worried. I was like, did I do the wrong symbol? But for some reason it just took a couple seconds, but there you go. So that door should open, but if wondering, well, however do we get over there? Aha, Hoover Boots, my friend. Watch this. You can hover across there, and I would recommend you do a roll because you might not make it without it, because the Hoover Boots don't last very long whenever you're in the air. I'll show off some other places in this dungeon where you can do. Right down here there's a BMOS, but this one's a big boy because it takes 2 bombs to kill, or I guess 1 bomb if you're precise enough. I'm not quite sure how. But there you go. You kill it, and then, well, there are 3 pathways here. There's 1 straight ahead and then 2 to the sides, and the 2 to the sides are just invisible fake bombable walls, and then the 1 forward is a real bombable wall that you need to destroy with bombs. Alright, in here there are 2 Gibdos, so go ahead and play the Sun Song. It's about this part of the game. Many people are probably crying for their mummy. Ha 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 ha. That was a joke. Okay, you just jump attack the Gibdos with the Biggoron sword or the Master Sword. I think the Master Sword will also kill them in 1 hit if you use a jump attack, but once I get the Biggoron sword, I never switch back to the Master Sword for anything. Even though it's a 2-handed weapon, and I don't like using 2-handed weapons, this game is different because Link's not slow to swing. Come on, Breath of the Wild. Anyway, in this chest is the compass, which is nice. This temple sure didn't take long to get all the important items out of the way, which is nice. So now with the compass you'll see, well, I can see all the treasure chests in here, and really that's all there is left to show. Oh, and my indicator for where I am. Just run past this BMOS. There's really no point in fighting it, I suppose. I guess if you really want to, you can. Alright, in this room there's this whole rotating assembly here that looks like the Grim Reaper, and it's basically the same as the spinning spikes that I saw in the ice cavern, except this time you can, well, there are a few ways to avoid it. You can, not very good. There are a few ways. You can backflip, but I'm not very good at it at all. You can roll, you can shield duck, you can, there are a couple of other ways that just you probably wouldn't think of, but I would just recommend shielding to duck because, well, that's going to be the easiest for new players and the easiest for me, just because you can roll, but I'm not exactly the best at it. Alright, in here there are some silver rupees to collect. We've done silver rupee puzzles before. Just go ahead and... Ow, be careful. Alright, after collecting all the silver rupees, you can now get this treasure chest, but I wanted to show this off too. You Z target this wall, and then Navi will say that this wall is saying something. And it says, if you want to see a ferry to the other world, come here. Now this isn't talking about like a fairy as in a pixie or a spirit. This is talking about a ferry as in a boat. Sort of like a cruising ship, except this one's all haunted with death and spookiness. But no, it's just this boat. And so you probably would think this is a trap, but because there's just a gap with an invisible or a fake floor, but which, yeah, I thought that was what it was the first time I played, but no, it's legitimately showing you something. And you may have heard the sound of a Golden Skulltula. Yes, that is what that is. I'll show you how to get that when we get to it. Don't worry. Okay, ooh, almost missed that. Oh, that probably should have counted towards hitting me, but it didn't. Alright, in this chest there's a small key, which is, you know, what we came here for, so it was good that I got that. Ooh, gotta be careful of that. And now, I always try to go counterclockwise along with this thing, but sometimes, well, just so that I can avoid ducking and rolling. Can you see me roll at the end there? Again, it's really not that easy to. I can kind of do it. I don't pull it off every time just because it's difficult. Alright, I'm just going to kill the Beamos again because I do need to be in here for a second. I don't want that thing to be in my hair all the time. Now this wall right here is bombable, so go ahead and destroy it. If you're running low on bombs, you could have probably destroyed the Beamos using bomb chews. Here you can use the ocarina and play the Sun Song to reveal a big fairy. If you don't remember big fairies, they heal like 8 hearts and your magic meter, which is pretty nice. There are a couple of other big fairies in this temple, and I'll show you how to get those, even though it's really not really all that important. And yeah, it's raining in the Shadow Temple. Could this place get any more spooky? It's been raining here in my college all day today, so it's very fitting. It's kind of a depressing day, but, well, that's alright. There are a couple of big Skulltulas here, so do be careful of them. Get your long shot or hero's bow ready. Or fairy bow. Oh, that's a different game. Just go ahead and kill them. You really can't sneak past them. They kind of get in your way. So do be careful around here because look, we have some guillotines. Yeah. Interesting. Guillotines were used to execute people during, like, in French history. So yeah, just embrace the death place. And I apologize for the frame rate there. I don't know what was going on. Thankfully, my entire video was not like this, and I'm really glad because I did not want to have to do the Shadow Temple twice. It's not that it's hard, it's just that I just think this place is kind of boring. Alright, this guillotine goes particularly fast, so do be careful. That one, oh, and watch out, there is a red bubble here. You can kill it if you want, but I'm not very good. And then do be careful as you come over here because there's a Stalfos. Get all the spooky enemies in here. We have Stalfos, we have Redeads, we have Gibdos, we have Keese. Yeah, very haunting. And oh no, my frame rate. Oh dear. Okay, turn to the east side of the room and use the Lens of Truth to jump over these platforms here. And then, oh no, please don't let the rest of the video be like this. And you can jitter the button for the Lens of Truth on and off to save on magic because it doesn't actually use any. So if you're running low on magic, I just use that tip. Alright, in here it seems like there's nothing, but there is. There's another, I don't know what you call it. There's another, Grim Reaper spinning blade with the scythes, so do be careful. There are some keys in here. I would recommend shooting them, but with this Project 64 emulator, it's kind of hard. And oh, that should not have counted, but it did. Nice. If you're playing this on an actual Nintendo 64, you'd probably have a lot better at this, or if you just get close enough to where you can Z-target, it's a lot easier. Now, it is very difficult to see these just because, oh, look at that. It's just, well, they kind of camouflage with the wall because they're not, keys aren't exactly, you know, detailed, and they're pretty small. Go ahead and shoot the like just so you don't have to deal with it. If you do accidentally get eaten by the like and you don't kill it in time enough, worry no more because there are 2 chests right here. This one right here, I think, just contains a key. Or no, it's just arrows. Whoops. And then this one right here. It contains a blue rupee, but if you got your shield eaten and you didn't get it back, then instead that will contain a shield for you. So that's that. There are a couple more blue rupee chests / shield chests if you get eaten by likes. But this is like the only like in this dungeon, so I don't know why they give you a bunch of those. I guess they just couldn't think of any ideas. Alright, so I guess that room wasn't absolutely necessary since there was no key in it, but I wanted to show everything off, so I thought, why not? You can fight the Stalfos again just to get him out of your way, so I did that. And there's also another big fairy on this platform here. You just have to play the Song of Storms. Oh my. Alright, let's get the ocarina ready. And again, you don't have to do this, just thought I'd show it off. Look at his bony body just falling apart behind me. Yeah. I will say all the spooky themed dungeons in the Zelda games kind of are not my favorite. And not just because they're spooky, just because the concept, while it is new, it's not like breathtaking or groundbreaking or anything like that. It's just kill the dead. Like, you know, in this game we have the Shadow Temple and the well. In Wind Waker, there's the Earth Temple, and Twilight Princess kind of mixed the Spooky Temple with the Desert Temple, which I do like. It's the Arbiter's Grounds. Interesting. Now use the Iron Boots to help you get across that chained platform. That's going to raise and lower over its time. Get bomb shoes or bombs ready. I just want to use bomb shoes just because, I don't know, maybe change it up a bit. One bomb shoe will kill that, and you don't have to time anything. It's just as soon as a bomb shoe touches something it can destroy, it will be destroyed. Except for a bombable wall. I don't think it will be destroyed if it touches a bombable wall. That I do believe you have to time. But with enemies you don't, which is great. Alright, in this room, we'll go ahead and collect all the silver rupees to get in here. In this room, it seems it's ominous. Well, so is the rest of this dungeon. Now this sign here says you need the Lens of Truth to find the so-called Stone Umbrella. Whatever could they be talking about? Of course. Equip the Lens of Truth, and look at that. There's a hidden block in this invisible wall. So go ahead and remove it from the invisible wall. And this room is very noisy, I know. You have the sound of the spikes falling and hitting the floor. And then you also have the sound of the Golden Skulltula, which I will get. Don't worry. Push this block. I probably should have sped this clip up, but I guess, well, whatever. I can just explain more. In Master Quest, I think this room is exactly the same as it is in the original, or if not, then has a very similar, like, it has a similar puzzle style to it. Now, I made the mistake once of after they were both being stopped by the Stone Umbrella, I kept pushing it, and then I got crushed, like my first playthrough, so yeah, don't do that. It hurts. Alright, in here there's a Golden Skulltula, and it's looks like it's stuck. It doesn't, like, rotate. I don't know why, but whatever. There's another Golden Skulltula, which is pretty good. Alright, so you come out here, and then in this cell, right here, is a treasure chest. If you haven't picked up on this yet, the Shadow Temple was originally a torture chamber. Yeah, that's why there's all this stuff with death and spikes and Grim Reapers and guillotines and ghosts and all that, and yeah, creepy. But yeah, alright, so let's climb up this block. Now let's move it all the way over here, and oh, I almost fell off of there. Do be careful when coming across these. It is kind of easy to miss and then get crushed by the spikes. I've done that many a times, and then you have to do the block pushing puzzle again, so please proceed with caution here, as it is easy to mess this up. So you come up here, and it raises, and then you come across. And over here there's this treasure chest. It is also a blue rupee / shield. I guess if maybe you somehow lost the shield again, even though there's no like. Now you can ride these spikes over to there, or if you want to play it safe, I'd recommend just using your long shot to get across here. There you go. There is a small key. So this is the room we needed to come into. Alright, and break these jars. I get rupees. Not that rupees are really important. Money for me literally is no object. My wallet has been full for much of this game, and it will pretty much be full until the end of this game. Yeah, there really isn't anything important for me to buy. I see all these new players, they think, oh, money equals good. Well, money is kind of an inconvenience right now, having an abundance of it, right? Watch out for this guillotine here. There's this platform, and then, well, there's this moving platform, and I'd recommend you equip the Hoover Boots to help you get across there. This one moves, it straddles along this chain here, even though it doesn't seem to be any device that makes it slide. Alright, let's put the Kokiri boots back on, and here I was just checking to make sure I missed, checking to see if I missed anything, which I didn't, which is great. In this room, you have 2 redeads and a spike, invisible spikes, and you have a rupee puzzle. Now, there are a few ways to. I want to show another way to fight redeads. You can use the long shot, and that will actually paralyze redeads. And now that this one died, his other one over here is going to come and weep for him, I guess, or just sit by his body. But his body will be gone by the time he gets over there, because redeads are so slow. Okay, so you have the invisible spikes, and after you kill them, you get a chest. Now I want to show a couple things off. You can avoid taking damage with these spikes if you wear the hover boots, but keep in mind, because Link doesn't hover for long amount of time. And I just discovered another way to avoid getting hurt by the spikes, actually like last week. And there's another blue rupee / shield, because apparently you still need a shield. Now the other way to avoid taking damage is wearing the Goron tunic. I'm dead serious. Look at that. I'm standing on these invisible spikes and I'm not taking damage. And I found this out like last week. I think maybe it was because whenever they were programming the, I don't know, the design for the spikes or whatever, they probably just took lava and modified it. Because with the Goron tunic on, you don't take damage when you walk on lava. Alright, well, at least you don't immediately. But for this one, you can stand on there forever and never take damage. But alright, I'm just going to put the Kokiri tunic back on. Alright, use your Hoover Boots here to get this silver rupee, and then use the long shot here to get this one. Oh, it's also worth mentioning that for any silver rupee puzzle, there is no order. However, though, I think in some puzzles, you're required to collect them in a specific order. Now, there's an invisible hookshot target on the ceiling here. I don't know why they just had to make it invisible. But, oh no, I don't have a key yet. Getting a little ahead of myself here. So go ahead and go through this door on the side, and then you'll find, big scary skull. Yeah. Do be careful, there are fire keys in this room. Now, I just saw the regular keys up there, until I realized, oh no, there are fire keys. Now there's some like blue-ish fire. It's not blue fire from the ice cavern, but it's like blue-ish fire. And if the keys fly through that, then they'll become fire keys. And ow! Got burnt. That hurts. Do kill them as quickly as you can. You can use a quick spin attack to easily take them out, or bow and arrow, or long shot. If you're close enough, I'd say just use a long shot. Don't waste any arrows. I want to try and snipe this myself. I don't think I was successful because this emulator is just awful with the sensitivity. Oh, I did get it. Which is going to make the next arrow upgrade a nightmare to get. I'm not looking forward to it. Although I've done it once on this emulator, so if I've done it once, I know I can do it again. Alright, pick up a bomb and then throw it, Michael Jordan this thing, into the giant skull basketball hoop, I guess. And then there's the key. Yes. It's very confusing whenever the puzzle to get a key is not in a treasure chest. So it makes me think, now something is really messed up here. It's not common in the original game. I think there's maybe only 1 or 2 instances. But in Master Quest, it happens a couple times. So if any of you want to play the Master Quest after this game, which I would. Master Quest is quite cool with challenging puzzles. But I don't think I'll be covering it, at least not anytime soon. Okay, in this room, we have some fans here that will blow and they'll push you. So, I know you probably thought Iron Boots' trouble was over. Well, I'm afraid to tell you otherwise. It's not. Go ahead and kill the big Skulltula and then continue through. And then go ahead and use the long shot to clip onto this piece of wood in the ceiling here. Don't worry about taking them off. You're going to need to keep them on. I probably should have sped up this clip too, just because Link walks so slow with the Iron Boots. In here you'll find a new enemy called an eyeball switch. Now I know, it's bizarre. Like, really? Why do they need to take something like that and make it an enemy? That's beyond me, but they did. Right, in this room there are 2 redeads, I think. There's one at the right side, but I can't see the one on the other side. But yeah, there are 2 redeads in here. So if there are more than one, definitely play the Sun Song. Oh, and that also reveals a big fairy there as well, so that's pretty nice. Although I failed to get this big fairy for some reason. I was all over it, and it just wouldn't let me get it. It just disappeared. So, what's disappointing? Well, look at me. I'm touching this thing, and look at that. Can you believe it? Well, I was only missing 1/4 of a heart. Don't need it terribly. So Navi hears the spirits whispering in this room, saying those who have sacred feet should let the wind guide them. So there were fans in the last room with wind, although, but before I get ahead of myself, I just remembered right here that there's an invisible chest, and I saw it on the map. So use the Lens of Truth, and then it's kind of off to the side. I don't know why I didn't just bother to center it, but whatever. It's just some arrows, it's not really that important. Coming back in here, and then the eyeball switch will it will hit you. Sadly, there really isn't any easy way to avoid it, or at least none that I know of. I've never avoided getting hit by this thing. It's kind of inevitable. So people who do like no damage runs of this game, I would love to see how they do it. Now here I'm being careful, and look at that. Turn on the lens of truth, and then you can see that there's a wall there. Now I'm going to wait for these fans to turn off so that I can directly face it. So you turn on the lens of truth, and then it's starting to push you over, and then let it push you over. With the hover boots, it should be no problem. Alright, I'm going to equip the Ocarina again and then take the hover boots off. Alright, in here, in this room, there are some invisible chests, but there are also 2 Gibdos, so do play the Sun song. This place has readheads and Gibdos in like every other room. Like, I get it's spooky, but why do you have to... I guess I had to fully commit. If they're going to make a spooky dungeon, it's going to be a spooky dungeon. Do be careful for the jars as well, since they are also alive. Now, one way to tell that jars are alive without triggering them is they are slightly smaller than regular pots that you can just destroy. But the thing is, that's not always helpful, because from a distance, especially if you can't compare them, you really can't tell. In that chest, there's another blue rupee / Hylian shield if you lost it. Again, I haven't found a like since that one time in this dungeon. So, okay. I guess they just really want to make sure you get your shield back. If you're just stubborn, you're like, no, I don't want to open these chests. I'll open them when I'm ready. Or something like that. But I guess they really want to make sure you get your shield back. This is the chest we need, though. This one, not only is it under some soil, but it's also invisible. So I guess whoever was guarding that really didn't want you to find it. Well, it didn't count on me. Alright, it's a small key to open this door, and here's the ferry to the other world we saw a long time ago. And now if you want a shortcut, go ahead and move this box, or this block. And then you can save, and then if you quit here and then reopen your game, you won't have to make all that much, you won't lose, well, you won't have to backtrack all that much to get back here. You can just take the shortcut that I made, and it will save where you move the block to, which is nice. But actually, I think it only saves if you've moved it all the way over here. So, do move it all the way over here just to be on the safe side, but yeah, it's good. Now we need to move this to climb up and get on the boat, but there is a way to get onto the boat without moving this block. I didn't show it off just because I don't really like to show... Well, it's not necessarily a glitch, it's just kind of a handy trick, and I'm not very good at it myself, so... Well, didn't think it'd be worth it. Okay, you've probably been wondering about that golden Skulltula over there, which, yes, there is one there. I'll show you how to get it. Go ahead and call your buddy Pierre with the Scarecrow's song, and then you need your long shot to get over here. I always like to have it equipped on C right, so that's why I did that. Well, it was pretty generous for me. Alright, here's a golden Skulltula, and then go ahead and use the long shot to get it. Nice! Well, I'm almost done with this place, and it was at this point where I was wondering, did I get all of them yet? When I realized, wait, no, there is one more. I forgot. Yeah. Alright, though. It's good. So, let's go ahead and get onto this ferry to the other world. Now, you may have seen there's the crest, there's the Triforce on it, so, well, I mean, I'm pretty sure we all know what to do at this point when we see the Triforce in this game. Alright, the ship is moving, but oh no, Stalfos. Are we even surprised? Actually, I'm going to show you a trick I learned a while ago. If you stand like all the way up here, if you stand high enough, they shouldn't be able to hit you. If they do hit you, I'm sorry, but as you can see, look, he's really close and he's not hitting me. But the best part about it is they will just walk off. Yeah. Having only bones isn't the most beneficial because it means you also have no brain. And if you don't have a brain, then you can't think straight. Look at that. There he goes. That's all. No more will come onto here. So yeah, that's quite a fun trick. And it works in the 3DS version as well. I've tried it. So yeah, if you don't want to mess with them, just do that. It's pretty funny that they didn't exactly pay attention. Okay, as soon as this ship stops, get off of it immediately because the ship is sinking. Yikes. Right now over here, it doesn't seem too obvious how to get over there, so, well, let's proceed this way. Maybe we'll find something. Alright. In this room, it's an invisible maze, so you need to use the lens of truth to see your way. Now you have 3 rooms to explore, and it's at this point where I get excited because I'm almost done with the Shadow Temple, so you should be too. There are just a few minutes left. Alright, in this room, there are these 2 walls that enclose on you. Now, when I first came in here as a kid, I was terrified and just could not figure it out, so I quickly left. But what I didn't realize the first time is that these walls are made of wood, so just burn them with Din's fire. Oh yeah, and the Reedids will get hurt too. Yeah, there are Reedids on the other side, so do kill them. And then you'll get your magic back. It all works out. And we've been looking for that chest, and at this point you're probably a bit worried because you're like, I haven't seen the boss key chest. Well, here it is. Yes. There you go. There is your boss key. Well, perfect. There's some lag here and there, but it didn't ruin the entire video, which I'm glad because I'm not recording this video just to do the stupid Shadow Temple. Alright, there's another blue rupee / shield. I guess they really wanted to make sure you get it back. Or maybe it was just because you could have burned your Deku shield, even though using Din's Fire doesn't do that, but it doesn't matter because you can't use the Deku shield because we're adult Link. Although the Shadow Temple is technically the only temple that is accessible as Child Link, where you can go into it, but can't go beyond that gap in the beginning because, well, you need the long shot, and there's no like easy glitch that you can do. Alright, in here there's the last Golden Skulltula in this temple. Wow, that was really off. Come on, go ahead and kill it, and come on, game. Yes, use a long shot or a fairy bow to kill it, and then use a long shot to bring it to you. And there you go, that is all Shadow Temple Golden Skulltulas. I think that was 5 altogether, maybe? Pretty sure. Alright, in here you can play some basketball as well. Except this one is a little bit more tricky because there are 3 skulls and they're on this rotating platform, so... and also, this isn't even necessary to do because they don't leave behind anything helpful. That one just left behind some magic. And then this one, I believe, well, I missed, but one of them leaves behind some bombs. But then the last one leaves behind some rupees, so you could just leave this room now, because it's not worth doing this, even for 100%. It's just not worth it. And there's some chaos in my hall, so I apologize. College boys are usually like this. Not really me, though. I was really debating whether I ought to do this in the recording, but I thought, go big or go home. So I'll go big here and show everything off. Now since it is a little frustrating to do it, you can just use your own bombs, but I always try and conserve as many as I can, so I just use these bomb flowers. I find it very interesting how they say, oh, Goron's special crop only grown on Death Mountain, or in convenient places where, you know, you can use them. There are a bunch of rupees here, but who cares? My wallet's been full for like half the game, so who cares? But you can get a bunch of rupees if you want to. Alright, I'm just going to equip some more helpful items again now. Alright, back in the invisible maze room. Let's go to the last room, which is the one to the south. Oh, and watch out for these floor masters here. You can fight them if you want to, but you can just ignore them. I would ignore them. As soon as they turn green, there's no way to attack them. You have to dodge them. And there is a floor master in here, so dodge it as soon as it charges towards you, and then you'll need to kill it. And then I always use the quick spins, but do remember that if you are using the Lens of Truth, you cannot use your great spin attack because your magic is already being used by the Lens of Truth, so just keep that in mind. if they do scatter after fighting them, then you'll have to look for them and just be fast, because they'll grab you and latch onto you, sort of like how Dead Hand did, and then they'll just grow back to normal size, and then you'll have multiple Floor Masters to deal with, which is just great. But if you kill them quickly, or just, you know, ignore these ones, then you'll be okay. Okay, back to the east exit. And I'll be honest, every time I'm done with this part, I'm always so happy, just because I just really don't like doing it. It's just not very exciting to me. I really like this dungeon. Alright, so we haven't figured out any way to get across yet, but look at this. Some more Goron special crop. Shoot them with your fairy bow, and watch this. Boom. I came very close to you, Link. Careful. It can actually fall on you and hurt you, which is nice, but, well, not very realistic, I guess. Well, there you go. Now we have a bridge to get across here, which is great. Another thing you can do here, you can use the Scarecrow song on that platform, which is actually what I used to do for a while. Now, right here, there's a time block, so go ahead and play the Song of Time to reveal the time block. And, well, there it is. There is a recovery heart up here on this platform with Pierre. There's nothing really important. Oh, 2 recovery hearts, actually. So, there's nothing important over here. You can just go to the next room. But I just thought I'd show it off anyway. Just 2 recovery hearts. That's all. That's all. Good old buddy Pierre helping us out. Oh, come on. Now, I was trying to Z-target this here. Navi was turning green, but you can't actually Z-target Pierre. Which I don't know why. I don't remember if you can Z-target him in the... or L-target him, I guess, in the 3DS version. So, I'll have to double-check on that one. But now in here, it just looks like there's a bottomless gap, right? Wrong. Use the lens of truth. And, well, these gaps are a little too far to jump, so you're going to need the hover boots. Oh yeah, and I was just equipping the common useful items again, like the ones you need for the boss. Alright. Now, interestingly, the hover boots are not actually needed in order to defeat the boss, but I always wear them just because I prefer to wear them. Now, so many people out there will say, don't wear the hover boots, it's a waste of time, but I don't know, I like wearing the hover boots for this boss. So just enter the room and then fall down the hole and then land on this strange-looking platform. So, after seeing the introduction to Bongo Bongo, the boss of the Shadow Temple, go ahead and Z-target his hands and then shoot them. Now, if you're running low on arrows, then, well, that's going to be quite disappointing. You'll probably have to get those, but if you're not running low on arrows, I would not waste your time with getting those, because this boss moves pretty fast. Now, you can stand in the middle of this, his giant bongo here, which is what I always do, but if you move towards the outer edges, then you won't bounce as much, and that's why people prefer to not wear the hover boots. But as you can see with the bounce, you actually stay in the air a bit, which is what I like about this. Now do be careful when staying on the edge. You will get knocked off, and I actually got knocked off a couple times in this video. It made me quite frustrated, but I guess it's okay, because I get to show off what happens when you get knocked off. But this guy's fast. You gotta be fast. And I hope you're good at Z-targeting. It's not that difficult to Z-target, but I hope you're good at it. Yeah, if Z-targeting is not your best friend yet, then, I don't know how you've made it this far into the game. Now, whenever he's, like, fist-punching you like that, you can't really shoot his hand easily, because I think his knuckles kind of are like a safe spot here. You see that? I got knocked off. A little bit far, so that's a little inconvenient. Now, sometimes what's annoying is, like, when you're trying to climb on a platform, Link will keep taking damage and then it will cancel his climbing animation, which is a little worrying because you'll think, oh my gosh, I can't get back on. But with enough trying, you should be able to. And then there you go. We have defeated Bongo Bongo, the boss of the Shadow Temple. Alright, congratulations! You just did the most boring dungeon in this game. Yeah, again, I apologize really just for the negativity, but I just don't care for the Shadow Temple all that much. Alright, well, there's your heart container. Claim your prize, and then go ahead and walk out and join me for the next video to progress on in the game.